This is one of the important topic that we want to discuss right now. As in, if I go to a particular test case, right? And let's say I'm on a bank manager login test, right? Now, when we were validating the presence of this add customer button over here. Now, before this, I would like to validate a few more things. As in, I want to validate the title of this page. Let's say I write something that says assert equals, right, and I'll give the expected title and the actual title over here, right. So let's assume the expected title is ABC and the actual title is XYZ, right. Now when I run this, what it will gonna do, it will validate if both the strings are equal. If not, then an assertion error is thrown, right. Now this is just a verification that I am doing over here. I'm just validating that a title is equal or not. If not, then I want it should be reported in the report as well, right? And what all things that we do with the normal failure, screenshot should get captured, error should get logged, right? All these things should be done, and rest of the things will get executed as it is, right? So what I'm gonna do, let me run this, and I'll say run as Maven test. So let's see. So we have implicit wait over here. So probably it's waiting for a few seconds and then see it quit, right? So it has not moved to the next test, right? It was only on the first initial page. It has not gone to, it has not executed anything over here, right? It didn't click on the bank manager login button, and it didn't go to add customer test, right? So if I refresh this, and if I look at the reports that are generated over here, so in the target, I'll go to Surefire. I'll check for HTML. I'll open up extend report. Right, and I'll paste this. You'll see that we have a report generated over here, and in both the report, see, this is the home page, and this is again the home page, so it has not navigated to the next page, right? And we have a failure assertion failure over here, like expected XYZ but found ABC, right, where we were actually assuming that we are validating the titles, right. So the test didn't go after this, right. If you even take a look inside a login test, and if you take a look at the logs, so if I go over here and look at the log4j file, the application log files, and it is actually showing us old logs, right? You can see the logs are not uh, generating. And if I run this test again, if I say Maven clean and run the test again, see, while the test is being executed, we get this warning: no appenders could be found for logger. Please initialize the log for the system properly. It means when we are running the test through log through pom.xml, it is not recognizing the logs over here, right? As in, if I actually execute the same test using test.ng XML file directly, it will not going to throw any such error. So if I go to my runner, that is over here, and if I run it directly, then it will actually going to read this log4j. Okay, again it is not even reading over here. This is probably I have kept it over here instead of keeping it over here. Let us see if we have given the correct path or not. Yes, the path and everything looks fine. for Selenium logs and for application logs. Everything looks fine. So what I can do is instead of keeping it over here, I'll copy this and paste it to my properties package. This is also a properties file, right? So I'll move it to the properties package. I'll just delete it from here. And what I can do in my pom.xml file, while looking for the logs, I can go inside where the build is there. So inside the build, I'm gonna add my test resources over here. It should go something like this. So I'm gonna copy this tag and paste it over here. So in the test resources, I'm mentioning one of my test resource directory as this src test resources properties, where we have properties files, and I'm asking it to include log4j.properties. So this is what you need to do inside your build. And if I go to my application logs again, if I delete all these logs, and if I go to Selenium logs and clear everything, because these are showing some old logs, right? If I run this thing now, let's say run as Maven test, and let us see if the new logs are being generated. See, running test to see, now we are not getting that error, right, for log4j. And if you go to the application logs, see, logs have started generating, right? So this is how we can fix the issues for logs by adding them in the pom.xml file itself, right? Again, it's waiting because like after validating title, it is looking like the test broke over here. Like after as soon as there is a assertion failure, the test gets break at this step itself. If the expected and actual is not met, right, the test will gonna break over here itself, and it will gonna move to the next test. In the next test, when that is add customer test, when it looks for this add customer button, and if it didn't found, it actually gonna throw an error. So if you go back to your reports and refresh it, you'll all actually going to see that no such element exception unable to locate add customer button itself. So it is not able to locate add customer button because the first step was not successfully executed. So what we can do, instead of adding this hard assertion over here, we can implement something called as soft assertion. Now, soft assertions, there are many ways to implement soft assertion. Basically, instead of assert, I want to write something that says verify equals, right? Verify in the sense it will gonna verify whether the title is equal or not, and if it is not equal, it will gonna report the failure, but it will actually gonna not gonna stop your test case, right? So what I can do. See, if I put this thing inside a try catch block, I'll say and catch, try catch, and I'll say throwable T, and I'll go over here. So if I do it like this, then this thing will be executed, and after try catch block, this thing also will get executed, right? If I say, if I just print inside catch, so as soon as any error is there, and if I just print after assertion, right? So if I run this, you're going to see that after assertion will not get printed. If I run this again, but inside catch will be printed, because as soon as there is a assertion failure, it will go inside catch, and then it will gonna execute rest of the test. Now you're gonna see inside login and clicking on this button, and all these things will get executed. Let us run this and let's see. See, everything gets executed inside catch block. Inside catch got executed inside catch, but after assertion was not executed. And in the logs, you'll see inside login test is actually executed. It actually printed over here what we have mentioned in log.debug, right? So if I go back to the reports, if I run the refresh it, you'll see clicking on button. See, that title validation sort of thing is not here. that assertion error that we have said assert equals ABC XYZ. Initially it was coming, but now it is not coming, right? So if we write try catch over here, it will not gonna report any failure, right? So we actually need to do something like instead of writing this over here in each test case like this way, what I can do, I can implement some method inside my base class, which will actually gonna report the failures inside your reports, right? So although there are many ways to implement it, I can implement a listener in TestNG as well, right? But if I implement listener in TestNG, then the output that we are actually looking for in the extent reports will not be like that, right? Because I want that with every failure, a screenshot should also get captured, right? So what I can do is I can implement a method that says public static void verify equals, right? Instead of asserts equals, I'll say verify equals, and this also should accept expected and actual results, right? And in this, I can add a try catch block. See what I'm going to implement inside this. This will still be achievable through try catch, but in catch, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna report the failures. So I'll add this the same statement assert dot assert equals, and I'll take the string one over here, right? Actual and expected. And as soon as there is a failure, what it should do, it should very first thing it should do is to capture a screenshot, because I want on every failure a screenshot should be captured. So I'll say test util dot capture screenshot, and I'll add this exception, right? After capturing the screenshot, what we do, we attach that screenshot into the report ng report, and we also attach it to the extent report, right? So for report ng, we have loggers available. If you remember, in the listener file, we have created these loggers for report ng and for extent report both, right? So what I can do over here, this reporter.log, right, where we were writing click to see the screenshot, right? This is what we actually need is I'm gonna copy the image. Let's say I want to just see the image, right? So I'll just copy this reporter, and I'll paste it over here inside my base, inside the catch block, right? And before that, I'm gonna add one more log, reporter.log. Just be with me. I'll show you the output, how it actually gonna look like. And in this, I can say, instead of adding a new line over here, I can write this thing over here. So BR stands for new line, and then I'll say verification failure, right? And then I'll say I'll add the failure message, t.get message will add the failure message, and I'll add a new line again over here after this, right? This should be in double quotes, right? So after this, I'm gonna create this image, right? A thumbnail, attach the screenshot with that image, right? After doing this, I'll add some new lines, and then it should show the second thing. This is for report ng, right? This is for report ng. Now same thing we can do for extent reports. We need to add this thing in the extent reports as well, right? So for extent report, we have logger over here. That is, these are the two things we are doing in extent report. First, we are adding a status as fail, right? And then we are adding some message, and then after that we are attaching a screenshot. Let's see how we're going to implement this. So I'll say log status dot fail. So this thing, what I can do, instead of writing it like this, I can say verification failed with exception, and I can get this t.get message itself. So same message, I'm gonna add it into the extent reports as well. And after this, it should actually gonna attach a screenshot with a failure, right? So if I go back to my test now in any test, if you want to validate verifications, right? So you can say verify equals. If you want the test should not break it between, the test should execute completely, and even the failures should also get reported. So you can try using this verify equal. I'll just add a thread dot sleep over here just to make sure uh, it should capture different screenshots, right? Like over here we're going to have two failures. One is this one. This is a soft failure, a soft assertion, right? And this is a hard code failure, so where we are intentionally failing a test case, right, using assertion. So let me clear the logs. I'll say maven clean, and I'll run this thing again. And let's make sure if both the failures are reported and are both reports, report ng and extent report, and if it shows two screenshots with that particular test. See, the test is completely executed. If I go back to the reports, first look at the extent report. See, we have two different screenshots with two failures. Verification failed with exception this, right? So where you can validate the very first thing, it could be title, it could be anything, it could be either the presence of element. If you want to check that particular thing is present, and if you don't want to break your test case, you can use verification. And the second one is login manager failed with exception. This is what we have actually hard coded. So we have two different screenshots in our first test, and in our second test, the entire steps got executed, and then there's a failure over here as well, which was also hard coded, right? So this is how we have seen extent report. And now if we take a look at the same thing in our other report, that is the report ng report, let's see if it shows the same thing over here as well. So I'll just copy index.html, and we're going to see two failures. And see, first one was verification failure, and the second one was this cannot find the element, right? And then if I go back over here, this is the second one, right? So all three different screenshots attached over here, right? So this is how you can actually report multiple failures inside your reports. All right. And this is like another way of implementing soft assertion without using the test engine listeners.